Okay,
So,
no
Dr.
problem.
Smita Jha is a professor of English and linguistics in the Department of Humanities and Social Sciences at Indian Institute of Technology, Roorkee. She is a girl from Bihar who's climbed to big heights now, and we are really proud of her. She has held various positions at IIT Roorkee and has extensive knowledge of English and linguistics. And she's also working in the area of neurolinguistics. She's got lots of publications. Actually, due to lack of time, I'm not doing justice in giving this brief introduction of such a magnanimous personality. So I'm really sorry about that, ma'am. So with these words, I welcome you.
It's okay.
And maybe in happier times, we'll have you in Patna sometime. Right now, we are all connected virtually.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so ma'am, over to you.
Thank you very much, Smriti. And it is indeed a moment of pleasure for me to, do something for Patna IIT because Bihar has always been first love. And I always love to go to Patna and Bihar. I just congratulate you to organize such a meaningful faculty development or FDP program because such kind of program, in this grim situation, which is very, very dark due to COVID, is quite helpful. And I'm sure that it will give confidence to all the participants connected here. So before I start, I just want to know a brief, about you people because I'm a faculty. You are also a faculty, and I cannot say that I have expertise in this area. But yes, I have been doing or working in technical communication and neuro-linguistic programming here for first year students and postgraduate students. But then every moment is a moment of learning. So before I start, I should know a little bit about you. I know that you all are from AICT institution. So what kind of course you teach? uh, and anybody you can start. Then after that I'll start business and technical writing. So what kind of course you teach and at what stage? First year, if you have, or second year, or third year, or MTech program, or PhD students. So if you could share with me, it will give some idea or background for further movement. So anybody, I could see the name Ashwani Kumar, Divya, Bhavna Rana. So can you, okay, in chat, MSc students, management students, hotel management. So what you teach is specifically to them regarding technical communication or business or technical writing, computer science. Fine, fine, like us. Okay, BTech first year electrical students. Yeah. So, see, we are from, I mean, regarding myself, from the literature background, but when we teach the, mm, okay, ICOM, EC diploma level, fine, I got it, and I'm happy that you have uh, all, I mean, different, experience. Now, my point is that, as I said, that uh, I'm from literature background, but then after joining IIT, I realized that teaching to technical students, I'm coming to the point, business and technical students, needs an altogether different efforts. What they really want and what they really need. Sorry, I'm just putting my mobile on silent because it keep on making sound. So we try to teach them a kind of expertise or expertise, you can say, in their area. So the today topic is business and technical writing, under which I'm going to discuss first that what is the basic difference between business and technical writing. Because if I say technical writing, we also teach scientific writing. And these two words, business writing, or you can say phrases, technical writing, go together. But we should need to know the basic difference between business and technical writing. So before I start, I would like to share the PowerPoint. So as I said, that I'm not going to uh, say that I'm a great expert, but yes, we can exchange the idea because the world is developing very fast. And today we talk of globalization, postmodernism. Why? Because of conquering the distance, and due to globalization, postmodernism, the language is totally changed. You see the language of mobile, you see the language of other technical gadgets, and our life is totally dependent on that. So how to make ourselves well equipped, so to make our student in a highly tech world, we should need the business and technical writing, or you can say communication, because communication means all four skills: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. So, what is the basic difference? As any job demands writing skills. But see, with these, we shouldn't be confused. It happens because they share the same main goal, which is to communicate complex ideas in an accessible manner. So, these two styles, that is to say, business writing and technical writing, well, these two styles use a specific word choices. See, it is all gambling of vocabulary, of words, writing sentences. So these two styles use a specific word choices, concise language, and a formal voice. Formal voice. Now, let us move further to see how these two styles of writing are different from each other. Because as I said, that the world is changing with the advent of science and technology. World is changing due to several issues. This COVID-19, what is this? This is biological war. That is why we say कि कोरोना को हराएंगे, हम जीतेंगे. So we need a kind of confidence. This is also part of that technicality only, to understand COVID-19, to understand corona. Now, to understand the difference between these two style of writing, we should know a few things, and the simple answer is that we define technical and business writing by their subject matter. So technical writing deals with science, engineering, technology, but this is also a kind of myth. Sometimes it also, it changes. Typical documents include specifications, manual, data, sheets, research papers, field reports, and release notes. These are all the part of technical writing. See, like we apply for various fellowships. We apply for various projects in DST, in ICSSR. While writing project, we need to work very hard. how to make a clear-cut project. And here we have to be very specific about this technical as well as business writing. So business writing is just about any other kind of writing people do at work, except journalism and creative writing. These two aspects, because see, whether it is business or technical, it is very objective. But unlike creative writing, unlike journalism, the language of journalism is what? Hyperbolism, right? So it includes reports, emails, proposals, white papers, minutes of the business, minutes of the meeting, business cases, letters, copyright, bid and tender. See, the horizon is vast. However, there is some crossover also. Many reports, bids and proposal contain technical data and specifications. So, business writing or writers may find themselves editing technical content. Sometimes it is crossover, overlap also. Content and technical writers may be called upon to write persuasive documents for non-technical audience. I must tell you here that see, that was the time when my father was in the career teaching career, and I also, completed my MA. There was no such option for career. But in the present age, this is the global age, you can say, and 21st century, the young people, the young crowd, they have ample options for career. And because of such, advents of technical languages and technical equipments, this is also one of the important, significant careers to develop yourself as, as technical writer. So what is a business writing? The purpose of business communication are to distribute information. Policy memorandums or reports are used to share knowledge. Even not only in business, even in IIT, even in academics, we prepare memorandum, we prepare reports just to share our knowledge, to share recent events outside or inside the company or organization or institute, to instruct. Some professionals may use business writing skills to give employee different instructions. Also to influence. See how important is business writing. This can be used to influence, to persuade a person. So business writing may be used to influence others, to take action. Like for example, now influence customer purchase decisions. I also teach neuro-linguistic programming. And when we teach technical communication, see, neuro-linguistic is also very important in that way. The negotiation and the persuasion in a business deal is the part of this business communication. How to persuade a person to buy, to purchase a particular, commodity. This is also part of business writing. So business writing should be clear and accessible. See the advertisement, various advertisement. And it is really interesting to go for research on various kind of advertisement, whether it is applying cream or the edible oil or anything. You see the types of. Now the tone depends on the target audience. and the goal of the message. How to attract, or in a way, you can say persuade or hypnotize the audience through writing. Again, for example, now you may use conversational style in the letters and emails. Uh, Legalistic style is for contracts, formal style for an internal memo. Like even email, sometimes we use for very casual thing also. But sometimes email we use for formal style too. So effective business writing text contains simple and clear sentences. I always teach my students that always write biblical English language, whether it is report, whether it is project, or whether it is presentation. Because a communication is a good communication when you can establish a rapport between the sender and the receiver. And for that, you have to write very simple and clear sentences, right? So, business writing should not be an endless series of short, choppy sentences. Don't be so concise that you become blunt or deliver too little information to be helpful to the readers. That is to say, that you write in, in so much words or sentences so as to give the adequate information to the audience. Or any writing. That is, the very essence of business writing. Now, what is technical writing? That is the point. What is technical writing? Because I said that business writing and technical writing, they sometimes overlaps also. But then, in essence, in a style of writing, there is, a visible difference. So, the main goal of technical writing is to simplify complex information and deliver a message in an effective and clear manner. See, even in business also, simple and clear. So technical writing is about developing user manuals, user guides, release notes, and other types of technical writing documentation. Remember when you buy a mobile, uh, user's manual is there, and for a very hi-fi mobile set or gadgets, we go through the manual and we learn how to operate, with the help of manual. Naturally, the language of manual should be very, very clear and concise. Clear and concise. Its text should be impersonal and easy to interpret in order to effectively communicate information to the target audience. Remember, I said that the creative writing is also a subject, and we also teach creative writing here in IIT Roorkee, and journalism. As I said, journalism, the language of journalism is hyperbolism. But then technical writing also, to some extent, business writing is different than the creative writing. So it should be impersonal. The tone of the writing should be neutral, as this is always there in scientific style of writing. In any scientific writing, it is impersonal. It is not subjective. Now, the difficulty of technical writing text depends on the target audience. Again, audience is very important. If technical documentation is written for professionals, it may contain jargon and complex terms. Or if it is user manual, because it is for layman. User manual for general audience who don't have appropriate knowledge. So, a technical writer should explain the terms or should not use them at all. See, this is the difference between technical writing and in business writing. In business writing, we can elaborate, but in technical writing, like scientific writing, we need to be very, very, exact, very, very clear. So both business writing and technical writing communicate information to the target audience in a very clear manner. But these styles are different. However, they may cross over, as I said, sometimes. But then business writers have to edit technical content, and technical writers may find themselves writing document for a non-technical audience. I mean to say that technical writing is very specific, but when we talk of business writing, one has to be go for editing also. That to be sure the very subject and performance of the writing. Now, what is the difference between a business and technical writer? Because writing we are discussing and writer more or less same. So in organizations that can afford a robust staff with dedicated specialists, business and technical writers can have entirely different jobs. In other businesses, often with smaller budgets, see, even in academic institution, in IIT, we have number of business centers, incubations. So it is not something that business means entirely a business hub. Academic is also a kind of business. So often with a smaller budgets in other business we deal, there might not be much of a difference. If the same staff are assigned with writing business and technical reports, as well as all other communication tasks, an organization can fall into a pattern of churning out the same kind of text for different media. And that is the problem. Because there are real differences between these two types of writing. They are different forms. And you can say zoner. uh, I'm sure that you must be knowing about, the genre, various genre, like creative writing is also a genre. It's called genre, but I always say genre. So when we talk of genre means audience, because as per the audience, convention, expectation, we fix up the genre. So genre encompasses audience, convention, and expectations. Any report. I mean, these days you see every time Ministry of Health they notify or publicize, reports, different kind of reports regarding COVID. There are several terms that is beyond our understanding, but they explain. They call doctor also. So in writing, form gives purpose to content. And since we are talking about the writing, so what is important in writing? Purpose to content. Content means subject matter. So different forms of writing are called genre, in which audience is very, very important. Even though you go for presentation, you know about your audience. That is why before, further moving, I asked that to whom you teach, what is the level of your students, so that I may, polish myself and my talk accordingly. Now, you might think of genre as broad uh, categories like fiction, poetry. Well, I'm a teacher of literature also. That is why I'm talking of, you know, such things. So, like fiction and poetry, or a smaller subcategories like romance and science fiction. But genre can mean any specific kind of writing with a well-defined audience. For every genre, there is usually an expectation. Now, as I am from literature, but see, even in IIT, not only in IIT, even in universities, people go for interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary. A person from management may work with a person from humanities, or a person from, linguistic may work with the computer science. This is interdisciplinary or multidisciplinary. Now, in such age of multidisciplinary or interdisciplinary, we need to be very specific about genre. So the audience for a piece of writing is the people who it is written to and for. That is audience. The conventions are the rules and norms that this audience establishes over time. They can bend, break, and get rebuilt over time. But the current conventions of a genre will guide how a piece of writing in that specific category looks and function. I always ask my students that how many of you read newspaper? If yes, how much time you devote? Because see, this can be prerequisite. Knowing about the advertisement, this is also a very, very good, type of career. If a student of computer science or technical subject may join as advertisement expert. Now, conventional genre and knowing various kind of genre, one has to know the surroundings, the latest upcoming. So when we read newspapers, we come across several type of things. And I always speak to my student that you must go through the editorial column. Now, as I was saying that this is also a very important part being a technical writer as a career. Now, convention may govern if you decide things like, formatting and scope, language and style, plot and characters, purpose and goals, and the differences between technical and business are based in genre. See, making CV. Now we don't teach biodata. Biodata is meant only for marriage. CV. There are companies, established companies, who prepare, who design CV in a very, very scientific manner. Very scientific manner. So my point is that to know, you should know the difference between these two style of writing, and you can, persuade, encourage your student to become the business writer or a technical writer. Now, on the whole, technical writing and business writing are genre defined by their purpose. Now, technical writing may be a complex subject, sometimes may be ambiguous. It's written by expert with in-depth experience in a field, and its audience is often peers with similar experiences. Like in IIT, we ask a student to go for presentation, and sometimes they come up with their own subject. Now, it is sometimes very weird for others, like those who are from, humanities background, who are from chemistry background, if the person is from chemical engineering background. Now, business, this is about the technical writing. Now, business writing, on the other hand, is all about what its name implies, business, for business purpose. It exists to boast sales and profit. And its audience include everyone from company personnel to immediate clientele and the general public. See, these two writings are very important for our students, because now the very convention of joining after completing BTech and MTech, joining a career, in the subject only is not. Now, a computer science can work, in other area also. A earth science student may work in other area. So, as I said, multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary, and we have to, teach our students accordingly. Accordingly, it is also said that business writing is the language of commerce. How the writing achieves that goal can vary widely, but that is always the ultimate purpose. And that is why some of my students or our students, they work on advertisement also. Can you tell me some of the advertisement you like most? Hello? Anyone? Can you tell me any advertisement you have seen on the TV most often and you like it? Vodafone. See, yes, someone is saying something. Anyways, see, even from, like, I'm a person from a literature background, and from feminist perspective, there are several advertisements. Now, my perspective is that to look from that point of view, and I explore the advertisement. So, such kind of, even management, some of you wrote here in the chat box that you are teaching management students, hotel management, number of advertisement on various, edible oil. So how to encourage students or the business writers or to adopt it as a career? That is very, very important aspect. Yes, Cadbury Dairy Milk Chocolate. These are the things, we can explore. And that is why a student, a student or every student has to make themselves update that what is happening in the world. Now, there are more direct ways of writing for profit, such as sales and marketing. In placement, yes, Asian Paints, very true. And some of the advertisement that will shoot up your blood pressure. What is this? So, see, even in placement, when the student appears, generally he or she asks that how you deal with this situation, how to would you raise your sale. So, direct ways of writing for profit, such as sales and marketing, is an art. But there are also ways to influence profit indirectly, such as growing influence and building brand identity. So much of competition, so much of competition. Public-facing documents make up a sizable portion of business writing. Now, in addition, business writing also includes content that is not public-facing, such as internal documentation and correspondence with other companies and regulatory agencies. Now, you see Patanjali advertisement, mostly Baba Ramdev appears. Yes, Amazon. So some of the most common and important kind of business writing we can include like advertisements and marketing exists to turn consumers into customers. They deliver information that persuades potential buyers to pay for your goods or services. Remember long back when I was a student, Onida's very famous neighbors, neighbors, envy, and owner's pride. I still remember, isn't it? So see, I mean such kind of, and that time also we used to love. So how to make to hit you? Now see the kind of, drink. Drink means, I mean the soft drink. Akshay Kumar, Ranveer Kapoor, all these, they come. Why? You have to influence the buyer. To do so, they employ techniques like appealing to consumers' desires, featuring attractive qualities of your offering, though it is mischievous. And in online, during this corona virus, I online, buying and purchase, and most often I get something, opposite. I have given the order. So this is all market gimmicks. Now, how to deal with the competitors? That is also part of business writing. Now, as I was saying, that these are the part of, sometimes business writings and the part of technical also, like memorandum. In short, it is called memos. Now, these are internal documents. I was talking about the internal and external. Internal documents that convey information to employees within the organization, that is memorandum, or even other businesses personnel. So they break down complex information into a shorter message, like uses short paragraphs and direct language in front loaded with key takeaways. Typically contains one or more calls to action. In short, it is called CTAs. This is also part of memorandum and business writing. That is to call to action. Call to action. Now, I was saying minutes of the meeting. Well, I have done a lot, not in the business, but in academic. In academic. So minutes, now these are written proof of contents of meetings. It happens. They are for internal use primarily, but in many cases, thorough minutes are also required for regulatory reasons and may be subject to requests from outside agencies. Now, minutes are recorded during a meeting or from an audio recording of a meeting. And minutes of the meetings are very, very important. So 1 minute of the previous get confirmed in the latest meetings. Now, minutes of the meeting provide a paper trail of all things said and by who were there in the meetings. Then comes the proposals. This is also very important part of business deals. Proposals are pitches directed at other business entities or other internal divisions within an organization. They are persuasive documents, proposals. And this is what I told you that though, I mean, not for business, but sometimes we have to make proposal even to get projects, and very catchy proposals, very catchy proposals. As I use the word persuasive, what does it mean? That is to convince the reader, the audience. Now, what are the persuasive tones? Buy a good or service, promote or support an individual entity, or you are going to add something to the society by doing this. Almost like, when you go for a research or for a project. These are all part of, the business writings. White papers. This is very high level proposal, you can say, very high level proposal. But in many cases, these papers are somewhat technical in nature. But their goal alignment with corporate interest makes them more business oriented. So white papers provide an overview of a given product, policy, or procedure, the underlying philosophy of a company. All types of business writing prioritize directness and simplicity. So the idea is not to dumb things down or misrepresent the truth. But there is always value in making messages as accessible and persuasive as possible. Persuasive. So, this is one of the very important parts of this business writing. Jargon and complexity, ambiguity should be avoided and accompanied by careful explanation when it is necessary to use. So, in business writing, the goal of profit trumps secondary aims like objectivity or education. And business writers do sometimes appeal to a specific audience also. But these appeals need to be open ended and accommodating for all readers. On the other hand, while technical writing may be read widely, its target audiences are typically geared towards a specific reader. That is very specific. Now the business dealing. You are going to buy a car. The specification, the motor, horsepower. This is technicality of that business paper. That is why I said that sometimes overlap. And that is because technical writing prioritizes accuracy and diligence. Now, technical writing invites, needs, speaks, expertise. Expertise. So in corporate settings, IIT is also a corporate world. In corporate settings, business technical writing also exists to document and provide evidence for outside observer. So unlike business writing, technical writing is not inherently concerned with convincing its readers to purchase good or generally inapt CTA. That is call for action, call to action that support the business. So those CTAs may still be present in technical writing, but they are not a key aspect. This is the difference. So instead, technical writing is objective in tone and register. It states facts and interprets phenomena, then draws careful conclusions. It presents observations not opinions. Where opinions do appear, they are qualified, not justified, with extensive research and analysis. So, technical writing includes, but is not limited to, audit and regulatory report, healthcare, finance, military contracting, payment, card industry, manuals and specifications. Manual and specification even for the layman. Product descriptions and users manual are some of the most common technical writing projects. And experts are needed to ensure that information is correct. Directions are easy to follow. Why we say friendly user? Now we teach online classes, all of us. We use Microsoft. It is very friendly, but initially it was a kind of, habak. How should we gather, 200 students? Slowly, gradually, because of the friendly user, we are now very comfortable with this Microsoft class. So directions are easy to follow and dangerous mistakes are hard to make. So documents produced also include training material and guide. That is to say that technical writers' position are very, very important. They need a training and frequently asked questions with the service manuals. These are very important. Then policy and governance, clear protocols for behavior, more effective rules, lower liabilities, cyber security. Cyber security is one of the most important areas. You see, all of us, most of us, we go for what? Online purchase, and we pay by card. Do you think it is very, very secure? Sometimes may not. So cyber security is very important and they check it. Amazon show that your security. Most important area where technical writing expertise is needed. Cyber security technical writing is necessary for creating and documenting cyber defense. Report on threats and other aspects corresponding with the stakeholders impacted by attacks. And we have to be careful. Now, language and jargon. Language in anything is very, very important. So the main objective for both the business and technical writing is to be useful. Useful to inform, to help make a purchase decision, build something or operate equipment. Mistakes can be costly, even dangerous. Customer service is there. You have this right. Though the fact is that you have to run a lot, you have to put lots of effort. So the language for both needs to be clear, concise, unambiguous, and accurate. We sacrifice elegant prose for clarity, wordiness, repetition, and unfamiliar words that the audience may not understand do not belong in either business or technical writing. Of course, you can use technical jargon in documents where the audience all have the same technical background. That is with the peers. You probably don't need to explain what a capacitor is to an audience of electrical engineers, like making of, AC. If I talk of AC with the layman, it may be very ambiguous, but talking with electrical engineering students may not be very, may be very easy. However, in both technical and business documents, too much jargon tends to be a much bigger problem than too little. How many of you are used to with Tharoor's English? I'm very fond of, but I always sit with the dictionary. And I enjoy, and really, I'm saying that I'm just compiling, and a day will come when I will write a big research on that. Isn't it, Smriti? Am I right? So enjoying, But what you have to do? Now we have, in mobile our dictionary, but then we have to put effort. So if you write like this, putting jargon and such kind of word, think of others. We are not Sissy Tharoor. We are simple teachers. Well, I mean, I have all respect for Sissy Tharoor. He's a very scholarly person. But I'm just saying the type of English. Now, some business documents need to be persuasive, whereas technical documents tend to be neutral and objective. Remember, I told you that NLP, which is my area also, and I like NLP because it, trains you in the practical life. Whatever we teach our student, you speak like this, you write, but finally, the practicality comes from within. And NLP helps in that. So, this persuasive aspect and objectivity that you may learn from NLP. Now, in writing a style, both business and technical, this doesn't mean that bids and proposals are not clear. See, in IIT, we work like a clerk also. We work like a teacher also because we have to prepare our own course. If I become the lab in charge, I have to go for, tender also. I have to go for several things. It is not only that I'm writing for the teaching and the courses. So you need to be, aware of all such factual details. And this factual detail should be accurate. They lead with business benefit, such as cost savings or increased revenue. Even in academia, if I talk of establishing a separate department, first I have to ensure that we shall get this number of revenue or funding every year from so and so source. Now, how to prepare this? Now, these arguments are supported by facts and technical features. Recently, some of us, we raised our voice to make our department separate than humanities and social sciences as language and literature and cultural studies. So I was asked that you prepare the data, that how many IIT has this department and how many university at this kind of department. Now, with the factual details and with all technicalities, that if there is such centers, well, I will teach like this, and the students will come like this, and funding sources is this. And then it goes without saying that correct grammar, spelling, and punctuation are just as important in technical as in business writing. Errors damage the writer's credibility. See, we write online, whether it is email, whether it is mail, or whether, I mean, any letter. You are you are representing yourself on the white paper. Now, if you are committing a mistake, holding a position, see what kind of image you are producing. Errors, as I said, damage your credibility, as well as causing confusion for the readers. So if we talk, as balance, there are differences in the content and language and style of technical business writing, but they also require similar skills. Both need to be clear, concise, and correct and tailored to the audience. Now, other forms and hybrids. So technical and business writing are not always completely distinct from each other, nor are they the only kinds of writing a given business should itself be. In many cases, the lines between technical and business writing can be blurred. When ad copy contains statistical information from research reports, technical writing is integrated into a business form. When said research report contain explicit sales-oriented CTAs, the technical genre incorporates business writing element. Plus, your organization, your company may need to produce other forms of writing and communications. They don't fit neatly into either category, such as social media profiles on sites like Facebook, Twitter, uh, LinkedIn enable companies to interact. And I mean, as far as I'm concerned, or I mean, Smriti is concerned, in IIT, we are told that, well, update your profile, enhance your profile on the website. We have our website, and everyone, all the college, we go straight to the website, we see, and then we come back. So, social media is very, very important. The writing on these platforms consists of, profile creation and maintenance. This is also a technical part. Like I have not updated my profile for several months, maybe 1 year. And this is not good because I'm not maintaining it. No maintenance is there. About us and other informational content. When you write about the vision of your organization, how would you write? Post similar blogs and regular, interaction with others post. And as I said, that creative writing, typically associated with literary pursuit. It has nothing to do with anything. Gripping language style, that is the part of, creative writing. But here I would say, or I would talk about blog, which I teach my first year student. Writing blog is almost like maintaining writing diary. And blog is electronic diary. So how to enhance and upgrade the blog? Blogs can serve many purposes, like educational guides, establishing authority and expertise, opinion editorials, reviews and analysis, and several other things. So we are teaching blogs at first year level. We persuade a student to write or develop blogs, and not just to write forever, but to write so as to invite comments from others. So these various kinds of writing feature both sharp distinction and vast, gray areas of overlap. Like robust and comprehensive technical writing services can offer solution for the various writing needs and issues facing a company. Now, why we should talk of the benefits of technical writing services? Why we should encourage our students to develop, career? Because in IIT, whenever I start any course, like these days, I'm working on medical humanities, like I'm teaching linguistics. So whenever I start any course to the BTech second or third year student as an elective, first I have to show that, well, what are the benefits of this course? Why I'm here to teach this course to you. I'm also teaching film and literature. Why film and literature should be taught to the BTech students? Now you have to convince it. You have to sell your subject. You have to sell your credibility. Naturally, in writing, technical writing services. Writing is a process. This is very, very clear. It is a process. It is a mental process, thought process. So by hiring professionals, one has to ensure that the writing about company needs to being taken care by other experts also. When we prepare a plan, suppose for subject, for anything, it is not that one person sit and decide. Number of committees, go by this, evaluate, and then finally assess and give final result. So a professional, technical, or business writing process includes detailed research and discovery. Detailed research, when we go for research, when we prepare the research proposal, we have to go n number of papers, other alike researchers, books, paper, and then we finally, write our proposal. So detailed research and discovery, vetting of all information, multiple rounds of drafting. Yes, these days I'm preparing a fellowship. See, I write and rewrite and rewrite. I don't know when should I could be able to complete it. But a good proposal invites all these things. Feedback from multiple experts, intensive editing and revision. Editing is very important part of any research proposal, any technical writing. Because writing is hard work. See, I mean, in IIT, student can speak fluent English. But when the point comes to write, one page sometime they can't write correctly. I'm not saying all, some of the students are very, very good. So speaking and writing. So writing is hard work. So is editing. You write 12 pages. If I say no, you have to precise it into 1,000 words. It is very tough task. Now, you want the text produced to have polished, professional sheen, possibly the biggest impact that professional services like technical writer and business writer have on some companies or organization or institution, in mode of writing is the application of detailed technical editing. As I said, that mostly, after 10 years, we prepare vision of the department. The vision of the department is writing not so easy. यहाँ से कुछ ले लिया, वहां से कुछ ले लिया, लिख दिया. No. What is your vision? So editing is what shapes that and finishes any document. It is most important part of writing. So editing is the key. Editing is the key. As I said that whether it is cybersecurity, whether it is, technical writing, whether it is research proposal, you have to go for editing carefully and concisely. Now, knowing about the characteristics of technical writing, the purpose of this type of writing is to explain, as I said, complex topics in an instructional manner. Technical writing is commonly seen in how-to manuals and other pieces that provide direction. That is very, very specific and technical. So learning the characteristics or features of technical writing is very, very essential, especially when a student wants to develop a successful career in technical writing. So we should highlight this particular characteristics of technical writing. Then comes the what is the purpose, primary purpose of technical writing. So every type of writing has a goal, whether it is business writing or technical writing. Some forms of writing are there to tell a story, and other forms are geared to expressing opinions. The technical writing is not intended for either of these purposes. As I said, it is different even from the creative writing and journalism. And the main purpose of technical writing is to provide complex information to readers in a way that they can understand and apply even if they don't have prior knowledge of the topic. That should be the essence of your writing. So the technical writing explains how a particular object works or how to complete a task or project. So it is targeted to readers who are looking for information on a particular topic, as I said. So technically very apt. It should be very clear and very concise, easily accessible even to laymen. Now, what are the key characteristics? As I said, clarity, that should be there. A straightforwardness, that should be there. Precise, that is the wit of writing. Easily understood. Denotative meanings. Then detailed analysis. Very structured. Very structured. As we give lecture, it should be structured. Skimmable, that is readability. And problem solving.
Audio mode.
Anyone is saying anything? So problem solving. So these are the relevant, concise, complete, accurate, well structured, and well illustrated. Relevant, concise, accessible. Now, documents that use technical writing is user manuals. What is user manuals? Documents that provide instruction, such as user manuals, are a perfect example of technical writing. When readers open a user manual, their goal is to be informed about the product. Lab reports. Now, I mean, we have language lab, though we are not from science and engineering. They have lab, but lab reports. Even in language lab, we prepare reports on various classes, on various performances like this. Then various direction, even driving direction can be considered a type of technical writing. Their goal is to clearly and efficiently provide instructions on how to go from point A to point B. And there are n number of examples. Now, I must say that technical writing is not for everyone. Not for everyone. It requires a focus on factual information and procedures. Now, technical writing process. Now, before one starts to type one word, because I feel, I mean, I have been working for years, but I know the delicacy to write even one page. It requires, if you are writing a meaningful page, lots of your effort. There are crucial preparation, crucial, steps that will define or highlight one's document. And if you start writing and then try to edit, I mean, whatever you have written, in a very casual and lopsided and haphazard manner, you are going to cause yourself headache. So smart writing. For smart writing, the planning phase sets up for success and makes writing time more effectively. Well, I always speak to my student, like, well, not only research for PhD, other research projects, that before jumping over to conclusion, you read and read and read. And you see that you have to make several drafts. And then finally you edit it. And then you say that how you can conclude two summing up a particular project. Now, project preparation, a very, very tedious job. This step may be initiated by an employer, colleague, a student, client, for ease of reading, the person who requested the document. So with the request, the initial requirements are defined like document type, subject area, content goal, and scope and audience. So not all of these important aspects may be clearly defined at first. Sometimes uh, your client or your audience might not even be sure of their own requirement. So a guided conversation, repeated conversation about the document is invaluable to ensure that the author, or as an author, one has to understand the project. Through thoughtful questions, one can pull out, the information. Why I'm writing this? For whom I'm writing? What will be the outcome? That is why it should be clearly and well planned. That is why audience analysis is very, very important. Uh, and it is the biggest writing factor. The audience, I mean, repeatedly I'm using audience. So audience is always at the forefront of the technical writer's mind. किसके लिए लिखा जा रहा है? For whom I'm writing? The reader defines the text. And generally, the technical information does not change. The only thing that change is how those facts are conveyed. So a good technical writer revises the text based on reader's consent. Now, I would skip all these things. Uh, Coming to the document preparation. So to understand the reader, you need to ask yourself such questions about the audience. Who are they? What do they need? Where will they be reading? When will they be reading? Why will they be reading? How will they be reading? And once you get the clear aspect, you may start documenting the, your project. Uh, Planning your document as you have clear in your mind map, you can straight away start with the consultation with a specialist in this area. Experts in a particular area may give or may provide additional or parallel information. Now, coming to the emails. Why I'm talking about emails? It is very important part of business writing and also technical writing. We also write emails for the technical purpose. So emails are, and we all write. So emails are a brief form of communication which vary depending on the goal. And generally, they intend to share information with a potential addition used to persuade or instruct. Now, an email, I mean, for example, an email written to all employees with an update on human resource policy change. We get email every day regarding the policies, regarding the happenings, regarding the decision. Now, as we are talking of emails, technical proposals are very important. And it provides an introduction to a new project. But and then the specifications are there, then technical specification data sheets are there, handbooks are there. And as a layman, I would say that like for us, for literature, we have MLA's handbook for our research because we use the format of MLA, Modern Language Association. Then SOP, Standard Operating Procedure, which is a collection of step-by-step instructions normally for workers or the employee. Writing in the correct style, that is also very, very important. That when you get a proper style, you can move ahead. And mostly, active voice should be used. Like passive voice, if I say the electricity meter is read 6 times a year by a trained technician. But active is a trained technician reads the meter 6 times a year. You yourself see which one is easily going, which one is more clear. Then accurate word choice. You should have a good vocabulary with you. Task-based approach. You are not writing randomly. There should be some design. There should be some purpose. There should be some question, as we have in our research also. And as I said, that always avoid jargon and use plain language, right? So email can be very useful. Now, coming to the email etiquette. What is email etiquette? Keeping your foot out of the virtual mouth. This is what I said. When you write someone email, you are projecting yourself there. So don't write, in haste and hit the send. The moment it goes, everything, goes out of your hand. You can't do anything, right? Now, can you tell me that which one is the most, accepted email spelling? The first one? Now, see, it is the email, which is the standard. Sometimes I also see E, then hyphen, and then mail. Or all big, I mean the capital E and then mail. So this email, a small email without any hyphen, is the standard one. And it is a quick communication, a standard communication through internet. And in the present age, this is the main source of connectivity. Source of connectivity. Now, see, you are sitting on the email. It hardly, requires to know that who is sitting on the chair, a dog, or a person, or a robot. That is why we have to confirm that we are not a robot. This is the high-tech world. Now, when we talk of communication, we all know that 65% is non-verbal. And I must share with you that writing email is a non-verbal cues. Non-verbal cues. And 65% it matters. Tone is very crucial. If you start, well, I have already told you to do this. See the tone. If you're writing in email, it is going to hurt someone's sentiment, or posing yourself as something very arrogant. Now, in official business communication, 23%, 14% respectively, admitted confrontation with colleagues because of email misunderstanding. And I can show you n number of email with me where this colleagues confrontation is very much obvious. My point is that though it is a very short way of writing, but we should be careful while sending email to others. Criticism or harsher, what does it mean? Messages meant to express mild displeasure can come across as tirades. And this is what I say. Even though you have written in a very, light manner, sometimes it becomes very, very harsh and tarnish your image. Now see the tone. This is the example and the real email. Clients will be visiting next week. Halter tops and jeans will not make the right impression. It's time you started dressing for the office instead of the beach. Leave your flip-flops at home. And Just the next, this cannot be formal. The language is not good. It is sarcastic. It is humiliating. Then, during the summer, our dress code is business casual. We think business casual means clothes that feel comfortable and look professional. Men, khaki pants and leather shoes. Women, casual pants and skirts, leather or fabric shoes. See, this is truly professional. We talk of emotional intelligence also. Why emotional intelligence? I mean, tomorrow I will talk a little bit about that under the caption interpersonal skills, because you see, there is no place for emotional in the professionalism. If you are a true professional, you will be a successful person in your life. And so is this email writing. So avoid terseness, that is harshness, which can be misinterpreted. You see, that is the written record that become the monument. Use face-to-face communication if issue is sensitive. I take ample time to finalize my email. I read emails aloud also. You know, if you read aloud, it will go to your ear also. And then you will rewrite some of the sentences to avoid ambiguity. This happens, and I do. See, I mean, a smiley, we generally say this, a smiley. So Rob Glaser asked to meet with Bill Gates, and Gates said no. In a cold and flip mail, Glaser denounced Microsoft at antitrust hearings. And it was a very casual no. But before writing, you should know that what will be the repercussions and what will be the consequences. Even humor. Humor is a wit, no doubt. A person equipped with humor is very successful, but sometimes it is riskier. See, I mean, we have considered every potential risk except the risk of avoiding all risk. How funny. So, a quarter of employees have suffered problems with colleagues or clients because their use of humor and also using jokes. Maybe you are using it in a good way, good tone. But according to a survey, this is going to hit your and tarnish your image. Humor often misinterpreted. 56% of the email that they have been misinterpreted. Most people view email as more formal than a phone call, less formal than a letter. So, how would you, I mean, see the informal, requesting for the meeting? We need to set up a meeting bet. Zim, you and I, can you arrange? I'm free next Wednesday, thanks. But see, this is the formal. When you are writing for a meeting, you need to write an agenda. And the presenter, the host, time, place, venue. So you need to be clear of, you know, everything and make it a formal. Now, spelling still counts. While discussing technical and business writing, I spoke of the spelling. Don't take it lightly. The students in IIT say, यदि spelling गलत हो गया मैडम ये तो American English था, सही हो गया ये तो British English. If you're writing to an American organization, you'll use American English. Otherwise, we use a standard English. We use British English. See, proposal. I can't beat almost anyone's price, number of mistakes, and almost promise you success. And if I don't reach it, we won't charge you after the time we say we can achieve it until we do. Clarity is also very important. Besides grammatical mistakes and also spellings. People generally say typo mistakes. Why typo mistakes? You take time. So sloppiness is one of the 7 deadly email sins. Bad grammar, misspelling, disconnectedness, negative feelings. So 41% of senior managers, they generally stated that the wrong use of words in email, you know, project is at something very lethargic and also disrespect and humiliation. Level of formality. Now, when in doubt, are on the side of formality. So usually the problem is that we treat email too much like a phone call and not enough like a letter. We are mistaken here. Be conversational, an overly formal email message alienates the reader. So don't adopt a cold, remote, superior tone. You need to adopt, create your own style, your own style. Before writing, you need to go for level of formality. Like, do I need a subject line? ये नहीं कि कुछ भी लिख दिया मन नहीं लग रहा है because writing email is your reflection. You write and rewrite, especially when you are writing to your peers, your superiors. This is you. Do I need a subject line? Should I email a thank you note after a job interview? Should I communicate bad news via email? Hit send and it's gone. Hit reply all and your career gone. Deleted emails, live on. Message can be forwarded. So please keep this in mind. Sometimes it is said that emails are private, but it was not private. See the example that I haven't beaten anyone so bad in a long time. If someone was asked, it was in the written record and he was suspended. So never say anything in an electronic message. Then confidence. Within weeks, you see, I mean, if you're asking of something to HR, attached was salary information within weeks, 20% of the workforce was gone. Many expect a phone call to alert them an email level urgent. But give some time. You're not on a horse that you say we don't have time. You have sent the email and you think that, okay, you are getting it immediately. So when you use email? To request a manual for the new phone system or to recap a conversation about a pending order, to set up a meeting next month, to keep people updated on a project status, and similar alike. And 3 manners, Mavins, that is the expertise. Typing in all capital means you are shouting. So you have to be very specific. Then structured. It encourages curtness, the blank subject or to or from. So make it a formal one. And also in anatomy of email, why you are writing and what exactly do you want to write as in your message. Never write a very big, email. Before, I mean, you are going to hit the send, review it. If negative comments are there, criticism of a staff, about salary, product or liabilities, about gossip or humor or other ambiguities. Then make paragraph 7, 8 lines. Don't write, who has time to read a big email? We get emails, from some colleague, big email. Who has time? We just skip. So 7, 8 lines, insert a blank line between 2 paragraphs, headlines, bullets, avoid all caps. If a message is longer than 3 screen, send an attachment. So like, see, how can we satisfy everyone? If you're writing in subject, and subject is very important, that is the gist of your writing. And in balance, formally, not be too pompous. Simple, concise words, not too passive, be active, not too careless. So always be brief. Don't be blunt. Don't be blunt, even in uh, uh, email writing. So see, these are the survey, 36% of employers on Monster, that is the site, prefer thank you notes sent by email, and 29% prefer traditional letter. Now, these are something about technical, but here, I mean, as the time is over, so I'm going to stop here. As I was told that if you want some kind of discussion, yes, I will share. Someone was asking, I will share some of the references detailed with Smriti. Don't bother, okay? Hello, Sweta, how are you?
Hello, ma'am. I'm good.
Yeah,
How are
so
you doing?
yeah, I'm fine. I mean, but in a COVID, you see, but even then I came to my office
That's
just
really
to,
great of you.
no,
Uh,
just make my feel that yes, I have to do something, formally, as I'm talking about formal or informal.
and it was a pleasure seeing you in your office. Similarly for Professor Ravichandran. We are still housebound. I don't know if there are many COVID cases in the in our building also. So we are refraining from using elevators here as well as in the
No,
office.
that's right. I've seen you have a very modern building, unlike us. Ours is very old.
Oh, but at times old is gold,
That's right.
especially in this case.
That's right.
Yes. So thank you, Professor Jha, for your lecture on communication skills, technical and business writing. And I'm sure the participants must have immensely benefited from the points that you highlighted, the do's and don'ts. Uh, I think we are nearing the inaugural session, that is at 3. But before we close the session, uh, uh, I would request participants. We have questions. We have time for a couple of questions. So if you have questions, Professor Jha is here, so we can get our doubts cleared.
And I will share my, reading material later on. Some of
Okay.
the participants were asking for, so I will share. Okay, Sweta?
Okay. Somebody, so in the chat box we have some questions. Let me take a couple of questions. So how do we handle plagiarism? Is one question.
Well, plagiarism is something, we have software like Tintin we have, and there are other software also available on Google. So it is through software only that you can check the plagiarism. And in most of the institute, we are doing this like in paper, in research project, and in any kind of project. It shouldn't be copy and paste. But then some of the similarity that I call intertextuality. Suppose I'm writing something and I read lots of paper to enhance my knowledge on a particular topic. Uh, some kind of thing, some idea, naturally I take from that. But yes, writing line by line, because even in my institute for research and for PhD, we have 19% to 20%, similarity is acceptable. What about you, Sweta, in your institute, in
So
final university?
the standard practice is we in our department we try to keep it below 10%, but the institute is liberal, goes up to 15%.
Yeah. So, and in our institute is 19%. Sometimes it happens because the same author, the same, if you
Yeah.
have some data, some graphics, the same name of the book, some of the same sentences accidentally. I mean, I speak and the same. So maybe, I mean, for that, 15 to 19 is acceptable, but plagiarism can be checked only through software and nothing else, because Google is, yes, online tool is there. Yes. Google is, I mean, I call Google Baba. So Google has everything.
Yeah.
You go to Google, you write even where is restaurant, you type Google and you find out, okay. Google is, I mean, in typical Bihari style, I'm saying my Bab of the present days. Am I right, Sweta?
That's right. And on this note, I'd like to share my tip with ICSSR that happened. So we have a project, and as part of project closure, we had to publish 2 papers out of the research work. So when I submitted the monograph, so they said we are going to run it through our own plagiarism tool that was turned it in. And once we are through with the plagiarism, we'll disburse your further installments. Then I get an elaborate email that 83% of your monograph is plagiarized. I said we do not go beyond 10% even for our own PhD thesis. So give me the details. So they heavily quoted from our own published papers, and I called them up, and I said that, you need to uncheck certain things when you put the entire text on. And the guy there sitting, he had no idea. There was a senior professor, he was retired from IIT Kanpur. So I called him up, and then he said, why don't you guide him over phone? So I had to do that bit, guide that person over phone. Then they did the Turnitin check, and then they responded that, okay, we are very sorry that things like this happened. And I was actually furious because they put the whole on an official email that the text is plagiarized. I said, this is not done. This is a black mark on my reputation. So before putting things as an official communication, you need to be very thorough with what you have done and
Yes.
how you have done things. A similar point you also highlighted, that we need to doubly check what we are putting, edit and review things. So, so things like that are actually lapses everywhere, and such courses are very pertinent right now when most of us are, you know, uh, communicating from a distance.
Yeah, I mean, in research methodology also we teach all these things like plagiarism. And someone was asking about the review of the literature. The review of the
That's right.
literature, a review of the paper, I mean, again, I will say that you can check it online. Since this is a very high-tech now society, or high-tech, we have all, I mean, facilities. So you can go by online. Like we have confirmed plagiarism software that is stated.
Yeah, and even I would advise all the participants here that they can get institutional subscription.
Yeah,
They can ask their institution to buy it, because plagiarism check is very important for any kind of authentic research work that anyone publishes. So instead of going individually, you can even compel your institute, citing the importance of the tool. And as a department, as faculty requirement, this can be put forth for institutional subscription.
yeah, absolutely correct. Absolutely. Like we have Titin, and that will give, confidence also, because we take some kind of certification also, after checking the
Correct.
thing. So if your institution is going to provide you with the software for checking the plagiarism, you will get certificate also, and that will be a final record with you. Even
That's
for
right.
future. Yeah.
So, any
In
kind of writing style is required for technical writing. We have one more question.
See, I have already defined that everything is not technical style. As you are writing any kind. See, technical writing is different from business writing, is that it needs expertise or expertise, you can say. Like business house may write a lot about it, but the technical writing will focus only a few things, like the specific, the motor, specific gadgets, a specific, graphics in a phone, in a computer. When we go for buying a computer, we go for a specific, graphic, a specification. That is also part of technical writing. So this is technical writing. It requires, some kind of, expertise. You cannot say that anyone or anything or everything is under the purview of technical writing. No. technical writing invites expertise, the knowledge of a particular things. Anything. I mean, anything means any particular things, like suppose regarding the phone, regarding Apple phone, we are very, we feel tempted to buy Apple phone, yeah, Apple laptop. So we go for a specification. And this is the technical detail through which we go, okay, I mean, this is the RAM and this is this. So not everyone can write technical writing. Not every writing is under the banner of technical writing.
Okay, ma'am, I think with that question, let us close the session. And if the participants have any more questions, they can email the questions to either Dr. Smriti, myself, or Professor Jha. We'll get your queries answered by Professor Jha. And the course material, course content, resource material will be shared with you in due course of time. Thank you, ma'am, once again for agreeing to handle this session and provide insights into this topic. And actually, the whole thing happened at a very short notice. We got confirmation just a fortnight back that this course is on and the proposal has been accepted. So thank you very much. Thank you, ma'am.
You both are versatile, so time doesn't matter. Even one day you could have done this. So all my best wishes to you and Smriti. And tomorrow again we are meeting, right?
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and bye till tomorrow. We shall be meeting tomorrow, right? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. And for the participants, 3 o'clock we have an inaugural, and after that we have one more session which starts at 4:30. The details have already been shared with you, the program schedule. So see you all on the other side of the inaugural. Bye bye. Bye, ma'am.